I'm going to share with you 20 tips that is going to help you manage middle school children. We're wasting time. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I am Allie Mack and I am a teacher, and I'm here to help you have the best school year ever. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 20 tips I have accumulated as a middle school teacher that will help you become a successful middle school teacher so you don't have to go through all the headache that I went through. I am currently in my 6th year as a middle school teacher. The rest were divided up between mostly elementary and 1 summer of high school, but I feel like I'm very qualified to speak on this matter. And what I have had to go through during those 5.5 years of teaching middle school has been astronomical. And I'm hoping by you watching this video, you can save yourself the headache and the heartache. So, you have waited long enough. Let's get into the video. The first tip I have to offer you is it is completely okay to admit when you are wrong. Because let me tell you, middle school students are stubborn and argumentative. So if you start off trying to be right all the time, they're gonna catch on to this really quick and they're gonna lose respect for you. It's just easier to say, oops, my bad, let me try that again, and then just move on. Okay, so it's okay to admit when you're wrong. Tip number 2, being stubborn is more harmful than helpful. So, like I said earlier, middle school students are very stubborn and very argumentative, mostly. And if you are stubborn and argumentative, you guys are not gonna get anywhere. So it's better just to be the adult in the room and don't be stubborn, think logically, and if something makes sense, go with it. If it doesn't make sense, don't. Tip number 3, handle discipline yourself. Don't be quick to just send students to the principal unless it's an emergency, like fighting, cursing, threatening, harsh language towards other people in the room. Try to handle these discipline issues yourself.
What are you doing? My cat's making noise.
And in case you're wondering what you can do, just know that I have other videos that I have dedicated to classroom management strategies. Please check those out. Number 4 on this list, and I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this, and I don't mean to sound sexist, but if you are a female teacher, don't break up fights. You heard that right.
Don't break up fights.
Call for somebody to help. When I first started this don't break up fights policy, I tell students that when I feel like something's about to happen. And you know what I've noticed? Kids are less likely to fight when they don't think anyone's going to break them up, because school is kind of a safe place to get into a fight, and they know that it's going to be broken up quickly, a lot of times. Now, this is not true all the time, but I have noticed that kids are less likely to fight if they know the adult in the room is not going to break up a fight. But to be honest, if I feel like there's tension and something's about to happen, I go ahead and pick up my little intercom thing and I'm ready. I have broken up fights in the past, but to be honest, my husband told me if I get harmed or hurt during this, then he is going to be really upset, and I might even have to quit because he doesn't want me harmed. And he used to be a bouncer, so he used to see a lot of girls getting in and trying to break up fights, and he sees that they get hurt. And we're talking about middle school boys. A lot of them are much stronger than me. So I don't break up fights. You shouldn't either. And I feel like, well, in my experience, that kids are less likely to fight if they don't think you will. Now, some are gonna fight, but more than likely, they're hoping someone will break it up. Tell me what you think about this no breaking up fights policy in the comment section below. Tip number 5, and this is probably obvious to most people, but read those IEPs and follow through with the behavior plans and accommodations set forth for those students. A lot of times, there will be a plan in place for exactly what that child needs, and if you don't read it, that's gold you are not knowing about. So if you have kids with behavior problems or on a behavior plan, follow that plan. It's written out, and usually teachers with experience have dealt with this child, so they know what works best for them. So follow through with it. It saves you so much. And then if it does come to where you have to write somebody up, then you have followed their behavior plan so they can do something with that child. At least in Mississippi, if you don't follow through with that child's behavior plan, there's really not much administration can do. Number 6, give students with known behavior problems lots and lots of positive attention, because they're going to get attention elsewhere and it might be negative. So when they come in the room, oh, I'm so glad Just give them lots of sincere, positive attention. And if say they're out for a day and they come back, oh my gosh, I missed you so much. I'm so glad you're here. You know what I mean? Do that, and it makes the world of difference. Tip number 7, and this might be kind of controversial too. Don't let disruptive students in your class. And you're probably thinking, well, how in the world am I gonna do that? Now, some principals or administrators won't allow you to do this, but mine is very flexible with the way I handle students. Because the way I see it, they would rather students be sitting outside in a desk, outside my classroom where I can keep an eye on both inside and outside students, than that child just be sitting in their office. You know what I mean? So this is how that works. Say you have a kid on Monday that's super disruptive, causes so much problems, is wanting to get attention from his or her peers. The next day, you have a desk out in the hallway with all the students' work to complete. I advise not giving them a Chromebook because they might get off task. And you stand by the door and say, this is where you're going to have class today. You were disruptive, I didn't get to teach, so it's best if you stay out here. Now, depending on the severity of their behavior the previous day, depends on if they do this 2 days, 3 days in a row. So I have learned by doing this, not even allowing them in my room, they're less likely to disrupt because they want to be around their peers because that's what the disruptions are. This won't work with someone that's quiet. This only works with very social kids. So you might want to ask your admin team what they think about this before you do it, but I have learned that this is the best solution for me. And at our school, there's cameras in the hallways. I do stay in and out of my classroom, watching them and back. Usually this nips this problem in the bud and they're not gonna do this again. And if they do it again,
Guess where they're gonna have class the next day?
Number 8 on this list, only worry about things that you can control. Because let's face it, as teachers, there's so many things we cannot control. We cannot worry about all of those. Worry about the things you can control and you can come up with a solution to those problems. Tip number 9, when you change your seating arrangements based on behavior, never, ever, ever, ever say,
Little Johnny, I changed your seat because you would not be quiet, blah, 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 blah.
Don't do that. That'll make the kid feel hostile, and as much as you want to tell them about themselves and as much as you want to tell them that their behavior is the reason why, just don't do it. Make it about academics. Number 10, I always allow middle schoolers to drink in my class and chew gum in my class. As long as their drink has a lid and is a plastic bottle, they can drink in my class. Or like say one of those fancy containers you can buy that put a drink in. I allow that too. And usually schools allow students to have water and not chew gum. But I have researched, and in my one and only special education class in college told me that chewing gum really helps students with ADD and ADHD. It puts all their energy in one place and allows them to concentrate. So if anyone ever fussed at me about this, I would just say,
Research shows that kids with ADD and ADHD benefit from chewing gum.
so I'm gonna let them and the other kids do it. As long as I don't find it on the floor, on my desk, etc., etc. I have learned that this really saves, some issues, and it's all about picking your battles. You know what I mean? You want to fuss at him or her for chewing gum? Really? You really want that to be something you harp on all day? Didn't think so. Tip number 11, pick and choose your battles when it comes to students. Don't get in arguments over every little thing. I have learned just to ignore, walk away, so a lot of times they don't even think I heard that nasty comment they made under their breath. Number 12 on this list, the crazier your students get, the calmer you must be. So stay calm, and if it's starting to get a little rowdy, pull out your notebook and just start looking around the room and writing things down. Watch them get quiet. Whenever a child needs a pencil, let them borrow a pencil in exchange for their backpack. They'll usually look at you like you're crazy at first, but then, or they'll magically find their pencil, or they'll get a friend to lend them one. But if they do decide they want to exchange, put their backpack somewhere safe behind your desk where nobody can bother it. And I've learned this has worked beautifully. So, good tip, write that down. Tip number 14, never allow disrespect. Let me say that again.
Never allow disrespect
To yourself or other students. If they do, their punishment needs to be severe, like say not letting them come in the room the next day or after school detention, because when you start allowing students to disrespect you, it can all go downhill from there. And other kids will look around and be like, oh, well, I can talk to her, treat her any which way.
No.
Tip Tip number 15, always discuss student behavior in private where they don't have an audience. Tip number 16, if you notice a student seems upset when coming to your class, give them the opportunity to go talk to the counselor. They'll see you care, and this will give them a chance to go see what's so upset about them. And if they turn down the opportunity to go to the counselor, at least let them go to the bathroom to take just a little break. And like I said, they'll see you care and you notice that they're upset. Tip number 17, if a child wants to argue with you and keeps trying to keep it going even after you've moved on, say, you know, I really want to hear your point of view on this. We really don't have time. So here is an argumentative essay for you to fill out and return it to me tomorrow, and I'll read and I'll respond back. Usually they're like, no, that's okay. That's okay. These can be found on my website. It's hotforteaching.weebly.com. Tip number 18, don't allow students to be mean to each other. If kids are arguing back and forth, usually I'll bring them out in the hallway and we'll discuss it together. Usually I'll just have them paper, rock, scissor it, and whoever won is the winner of the argument. Usually they'll laugh it off and we'll go on about our day. Now, sometimes they won't even participate in paper, rock, scissors because they're so mad. And if that's the case, I just send them to the counselor and let them discuss these issues there. Now, what if you don't have a counselor readily available? After school detention, and play a game with them. Play Monopoly, play Scrabble with both of them. And a lot of times, they'll get over whatever issues they had. Tip number 19, do not tell students an assignment is homework until the bell rings. So many times we'll get through our lesson a little bit quicker. You'll hand out the homework assignment. You'll say, this is homework, but I'm giving you 20 minutes to work on it in class. The second you did that, they hear this is homework, I get to sit around and do nothing. Even when say there's 10 or 20 minutes left in the class, don't tell them it's homework until the bell rings, or else you will get this at least once a day, I promise. It happens to me every time I slip and say this is homework, but I'm giving you class time to do it. The very last tip, tip number 20, always base your decisions on what's best for that child. And your sincerity will show through. This works really well. You need to have their best interest in mind. Okay, so that is it for this video. I hope you found these 20 tips helpful. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below your craziest memory as a middle schooler. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.